Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the next episode of the 100 Season 5, the first part of the two-part finale. Last episode we watched was called The Dark Year. Now, let's talk about it briefly. I'm hoping, because I've not really edited that video yet, that it comes across in my reaction how shook, how not scared, how creeped out I was, and how, just how taken aback I was by how dark that dark year was. Like, I know they've been talking about the dark year, they're talking about it on and off. I kind of just assumed in my head that it was so dark because they had to choose to start letting people die in the fighting pits, and maybe that the decisions had come to get to how they are with the fighting pits when we last saw them, and how it became such a big part of it, and how it was more of a sport than it was a, like a punishment. Whether that was going to be the dark year, that the decision to, we're going to keep killing each other to survive, I thought that was it. But when it kind of revealed that the dark year was when the food resource was running out, and so the only decision they had was to eat each other, eat the dead bodies, that was tough. That was really tough to watch, and I'm hoping that came across between that and Octavia's decision to push by Abby. But that scene when she's in the cafeteria and she's killing everyone that doesn't eat people, that was dark. That was really, it unnerved me and really took me back. And yeah, I was really shaken kind of watching that kind of stuff. But it was really well done, and it really did cement why they are so messed up. I mean, between that and the fighting and the death and the turning against each other and the isolation, and they can't get out of the bunker, and then the dead bodies and the eating people and the death. Yeah, it's understandable why they were so messed up when they got out of the bunker, and why they're so loyal to Blood Rainer more out of fear than anything else, it seems like. So yeah, it was very dark, very scary, but actually really cool and really great to know it before we go into the finale, because we're like, okay, we know why they're so messed up. We know what the darkness that happened. We now understand why Abby is so messed up as well. Let's jump into this two-part finale as we fight for Eden and the survival of the remaining human race. So, do I know what's going to happen in these next two episodes? Absolutely no idea. So this episode is called Damocles Part 1. Now, I did look up what that meant. So, Damocles is a character who appears in an anecdote commonly referred to as the Sword of Damocles, which I have heard of. An allusion to the imminent and ever-present peril faced by those in positions of power, which I think is really interesting, because obviously we've got Blood Rainer on one side, and then McCreary on the other side in Eden in power. I was going to say Dioza, but she's involved in that she's turned herself in to help McCreary. I'm intrigued to see whether that is as straightforward as it seems, or if that's a twist in itself. But I also know with Damocles, I saw Damocles from, if you've ever played the first Tomb Raider game, there's a level called St. Francis's Folly, and you go through these different trials, and one of them is called Damocles. And as you go through the trial, there's lots of swords that hang down from the ceiling, and as you get the artifact that you need and try to leave the building to the room, the swords start falling down onto you. So that's where I knew the Sword of Damocles from. But yeah, that is interesting, because one of these people have got to lose, I presume. Well, what I presume may happen before we jump into it, because I've been talking long enough, is I would say in the past, McCreary will lose, Blood Rainer will take over, or Octavia will take over, but I don't think it's going to end up being that sort of thing where one side wins and the other takes over, whichever way it goes. I feel that there could be a completely different position of power. Maddie takes over, or someone else rises to the top, and just the things aren't as, it's not just going to be one group wins and that's fine, we all live there in peace. It's just not going to be that. But let's jump into the episode to find out what's going to happen, or at least part 1 anyway. Okay, if you enjoyed the video, please let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the episode. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and take a look at the Patreon link down below in the description box for the full reaction to this episode, as well as the next episode as well, and maybe the start of Season 6, depending on how far ahead I am on Patreon. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, let's jump into Season 5, Episode 12 of the 100 Damocles Part 1. Hi, Bellamy. Looking sexy as usual.
Just like Echo said.
I'm very nervous about this. I'm excited because it's cool and I like a big fight scene. Okay, Murphy.
She's got a kick. Where the hell is everyone then?
Is this the double cross?
Something's wrong. You did your best to stop this. In the end, if we have to fight, it's better to win.
She's right, he did try and stop it. And Octavia wouldn't listen.
How are you proud of you, Ethan?
Oh, Ethan. Bye, Ethan. Yeah, this isn't going so well, love. So even though she's trying to push them forward, it's like, stop being old. Move back. No. Well, shit.
What do we do about the ones who got away?
Let them run. They'll die of starvation in the wasteland.
Potentially, but they're gonna come back fighting because you have no other choice.
There is only one reason you're still alive. And once she's born, you won't be.
Oh.
The overdose.
Was it intentional?
Was it an accident?
Oh, doubt it.
It won't start.
That was creepy. Michael Myers.
Now let's go.
Maddie, Ascende Superius. You took out the conductor. I changed the passphrase.
Oh no. It feels really.
I will not let you die in this war.
God.
The second we move, we're dead. Get down.
Yeah.
These people are dead because of you.
Oh. That's a shame.
That's why we gotta go back. And you go back alone. No one else is dying to save Blood Rain now.
We can still win.
Miller. It is a shame that even the people that are trying to surrender
It's dark enough. Next time it passes.
are getting killed because they could be useful.
Okay, now. Get down. We're clear. Come on.
It's like Squid Game.
No.
Grab a rifle, there's one right
As
there.
soon as you pull that trigger, we're
Taylor,
dead.
what are you
Come on.
doing?
Do this.
Come on. No.
Indra!
Yay.
It's hit. It's bad.
Oh.
You hit too.
One crew will come back for us.
I don't think they will.
First we stop the bleeding.
First we survive. Then we get our humanity back.
Yeah.
You told me that. Remember?
I generally do feel like the McCreary threat will be over by the end of the season.
Long time ago.
Just in time for the new threat to arrive, whatever that may be. Maybe you'll need just 3. Good. Good. I'm glad she did that.
You think one crew will follow me into that?
I think they will.
What are you waiting for? Take off the collar before Clark gets back.
Oh, this is not going to end well.
Get the hell away from her. Hey, Clark. I haven't seen you in 6 years. This is how you say hello.
Clark.
So weird thing, it's been a whole season they've not had a scene together.
Friends. Sorry, Clark.
Ugh. Oh no.
I'll get the call.
Oh, I don't like this fight. No, not at all.
Take our pilot and his girlfriend back to the ship.
Clark, you're doing my nutting.
Thank you, Clark. Now that we have our missiles back, it's time to end this so that both our children can live happily ever after.
Not the missiles.
Actually, it was you I came to see.
What? Why?
Hundreds of people dead in a single day. That's quite impressive. All my days added together, it wouldn't even come close. Why not embrace the demon instead?
No, don't do that.
The way Abby does.
Truly care for her, you'll stop. You let her heal.
I can't do that. Most addicts fall off the wagon in the wake of personal tragedy. Did you know that? The death of a loved one, for instance.
Jesus. Please let him die. I mean, fair.
I forgive you. She killed those people. Not you. It was Octavia.
He's not wrong.
Come round, gone you me. Monet, throw down. Just you stay. Koliwe mo.
Mama na kamba here. One Christine Shara. I come stay on that.
Oh no.
Kind of flame keeper. It's a 12-year-old commanded to fend for herself. Keep fighting.
Precision.
Yes, it is broken because of you.
I'm broken.
She's finally realizing.
Yes, you did.
Go Indra.
He survived your betrayal in Polis long enough to march straight into your betrayal here. What? Now you care about Bellamy?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I always cared.
Don't worry.
It's not that she doesn't care.
If he's still alive in that gorge, he won't be. Once McCreary forces Shaw to launch those missiles.
I did it because I love you.
I thought love was weakness. Isn't that what the commanders in your head tell you?
Yes. All but one.
Oh no.
She's not a ghost. She's real. They all are. And you're wrong about why she's showing you that memory.
She's saying it was a mistake.
Betraying you is her deepest regret.
Oh no.
She's showing you that.
Talk about pulling on the
she doesn't want
heartstrings.
you to make the same mistake she did.
Bye. Bye.
You're worried you'll break.
Yes, I will when they torture you. Please, Raven, it's the only way.
Her heartbeat is slowing.
Oh, Gaia.
We need to go now. I'll give them a target. The next time they open fire, we run.
I may never be able to fix what I broke. But I can save you. I'm the one that wants this to fall. When they open fire, run like hell. My brother. My responsibility.
Good aim though, crikey. It's weird, like I knew in my head I was like, I'm pretty sure Tavia survived till season 7. But I was like, oopsie. So are they all in the truck now, Gaia? Enter everybody. Don't get too happy. Don't get too happy. This is where something bad's gonna happen. To be continued. Okay, guys, that was my reaction to Damocles Part 1, the first part of the season finale of Season 5 of the 100. Oh God, that was good. It probably was my favorite episode of the season. I think the next episode is going to really be amazing, but That was a good episode, some really great moments throughout that I really enjoyed. Where do I start? I don't know. I mean, I might just do what I normally do recently, start with like just different character kind of plot lines, and maybe go with like Abby and Kane. I really need to get my hair cut. My hair is like really fluffy, and I really don't like it right now, so in the next video it might be completely different. I'm probably going to get it cut soon. Kane and Abby and their storyline. So Abby is obviously on a better course now, definitely, after what happened last episode, and it definitely seems like, not that she's over the drugs, because as an addict you're never really over the drugs or the addiction, but it seems like she's definitely making right choices, and she saved all the people, which I'm not happy about, but realistically she didn't really have much of a choice. But obviously we saw the scene where she found a pill, and she broke the pill and poured the ingredients out, so that was nice to see, because it showed that she's definitely over the worst of the addiction, at least at this point, and is doing better with her life, and that's good, even though the whole her and Kane storyline still, like, they're not massively, I'm not that invested in them this season. I liked the Abby twist with the Dark Year, where it showed how integral she was to some of the decisions that Octavia made, but just them characters this season I'm not as invested in. Obviously Kane betrayed everybody, and it shows that he's feeling guilty about it, but he also did make the decision to betray them, so part of me struggles to totally sympathise with that. Like, I understand why he betrayed them, because he didn't want Octavia to be there, totally get it, but I'm also in the same vein, well, you did choose to do them dirty in that specific way. There's other things that you could have done, potentially, and you chose to go down that route, so a lot of people died. Therefore, I don't feel that bad for your guilt, because you were the cause of it, you and Diosa. But then the whole Vincent scene happened, which was really weird, really weird. So it seemed like Vincent's got very attached to Abby, and maybe I missed something, because I didn't really fully understand why Vincent cared that much about Abby taking the drugs. Like, I understand, he gave Abby the drugs, they would like talk, and she would be nice to him and stuff, but I don't get why he would want her to still be on drugs, to the point where he got so annoyed that she's off the drugs that he would kill Kane. Did I miss something? I feel like I missed something really important in that scene, because maybe when I edit it I'll notice it, and if I do I'll try and put something below that I'm like, oh, okay, I missed that bit. But it seemed odd to me that Vincent went so hard on Kane. Not that he blamed Abby for not doing the drugs anymore, I know that, but it just seemed odd that he would turn against Kane so much and betray the people. And he said, like, embrace your inner demons. Kane didn't want to, so he tried to kill Kane. Is Kane dead? I don't think he's dead. It would be weird to kill Kane in that way. But saying that, because Jahal is such a big character, I would have thought he would get a big death. He didn't really. So, speaking of Jahal, Ethan was in it very briefly. Got shot in the neck by Ethan. I was debating adding him to my character tier list at the end of the season. I don't think I'll need to. He's not had much of an impact, and he died pretty quickly. So, bye, Ethan. Nice knowing you. Yeah, he had quite a irrelevant death in really, so not like a big emotional death like Jasper or Lincoln or Finn. So yeah, I hope Kane doesn't die from that. I'm not about, if he dies I would be okay with it, like I won't be emotionally distraught by it, but I just feel like if he died in that way I would not be overly happy, but we'll have to wait and see. When we last saw him anyway, he was alive, at least a little bit. So onto the Clark stuff. The way she was with Maddie at the beginning, the whole Clark storyline in general at the moment, at least up to that, towards the end of the episode, I totally get where she's coming from. She spent 6 years alone with Maddie, or most of it with Maddie, a huge part of it with Maddie, and Maddie's now like her daughter, and she has that mother-daughter bond with her. I get it, and I get wanting to protect her, but in a similar way to Octavia putting the survival of one crew and the fight above everything else, including her friends and family, Clark was doing the same with Maddie, where it was Maddie is the only thing I'm taking care of. If other people have to die, so be it. If I'm leaving Bellamy and whoever to get killed, but I'm saving Maddie, so be it. And in some ways, her and Octavia were similar in that sort of laser focused. Can't speak English today. Laser focusedness, if that's a word. And so I understand why she was doing it totally as a mother-daughter situation. You are going to put them first. Did she go pretty hard on it and pretty harsh, like when she was electrocuting Maddie? Yeah. And when she was always putting other people, like, gonna let Echo die to protect Maddie. Yeah. But luckily Echo got through to her and said, Maddie did this willingly. You there's people still alive that you are gonna die because of you, because of the choice that you've made. We're trying to save people. Maddie wants to save people. We've done this choice, and she did it willingly. And so, at least that conversation got through to I was going to call her Octavia then. That's like a Freudian slip. Got through to, what's she called? Clark. And she started to realise that maybe the way she's going about things isn't the best way. And I agree. You know, it's understandable, like I said multiple times in this episode, why she is the way she is. But it gets to a point where you've got to let Maddie make decisions. Because even if she is a kid, she's very different to a kid in our world than a kid in their world. Because in their world, they've got to grow up fast. And they don't have a choice. And so she can make her own decisions. And she did take the flame willingly. And she has got the knowledge of the commanders. So she may be the best way for the one crew to survive, you know? And maybe in the next episode, it's going to be a case of Maddie and that go to meet one crew, realise she's a commander, they follow her into battle, then maybe win the war at Eden. Hopefully. We'll see. But I am just glad that at least by the end of the episode, Clark let Maddie kind of go off and do what she wanted to do and did the best for saving everybody and not just constantly putting Maddie first, regardless of the safety of other people. So that was good. And then we've got all the stuff with Octavia and Bellamy and the one crew fight. I knew it was going to go sour. I don't think I realised it was going to go so sour so quickly, like in the gorge, where they didn't even get anywhere near Eden before most of them got taken out. And it was bad. It was really bad. A lot of people died. A lot of people managed to get away, which was good. It seemed like in the camp there was a good number of people, including Miller, Jackson, Ben, and some people survived in the gorge, which was kind of like one of those like weird indie horror films that you'd see where you could spend a whole episode with Bellamy and Octavia on the floor of the gorge just talking out their problems, and that would have been really cool. Maybe not the whole episode, a lot of it. Do you like have an isolated episode where there's a huge group of people, we come into this fight, like hundreds of us, most of them get gunned down, some of them leave, and we spend the next 30 minutes or whatever on the floor with Bellamy and Octavia talking through their problems and getting through to Octavia emotionally. That would have been cool. Obviously they didn't do that, but the little bits he did see on the floor was good, that they had to stay still because they were going to die, and even Octavia was ready to go running and fighting, and Bellamy had to keep pulling her down and be like, stop, just stop, you're going to die. And we saw her seeing other people get gunned down that tried to get up, and she still wanted to go for it. And it's frustrating. As much as we've seen by towards the end of the episode, knew that she was losing the grip on this Blood Rainer persona, and that she was, whilst she was losing the grip on it and losing the grip on one crew, it also meant her going forward harder because she was struggling to get that control back, and so she was making decisions that were stupid because she was trying to regain that control. And we've all seen it on the shows, on the movies. We've all seen it in management, in jobs, where the managers start to lose some control because other people are maybe making better decisions, and so to try and regain that control, they make really bad decisions, and it just destroys companies. But yeah, she didn't die there, which was good, because that would have been awful. And then we saw Gaia was still alive when they eventually got to move. But barely alive. Indra was still alive, and I got really emotional when Gaia was about to die in Indra's arms. I was tearing up a little bit, right? Because I thought that they could easily kill Gaia off. Gaia's a great character, but I feel like she's expendable enough that they could kill her off quite easily, and luckily they didn't, because I like her, and it seemed like she's fighting still to survive, which is good. She could still die next episode, but I hope she doesn't. But it's someone that's close enough to the main characters, like she's Indra's daughter, but isn't, that it would hurt, you know, if she died. It would really hurt, especially it would hurt seeing the impact it would have on Indra. But I like that when Gaia was dying, she was saying one crew is broken, and Octavia, you could see Octavia's face was like distraught. You could see all these things that people have been telling her. When Monty said she's a dictator, when Bellamy said it's a fairy tale, she's a joke, all of these things that have happened over the past season, I guess even dating back to the Dark Year, have finally snapped in her head where she's realised, I am not doing making good decisions for one crew, especially the last few seasons. The last season, all the stuff in the dark here you can argue was necessary for the survival of the one crew. All this season, the stuff that she's been doing, most of it anyway, has been at the detriment of one crew. It's been one crew or the enemy of one crew, but it's not been that because she's been pushing forward with this war so hard that she's lost sight of her crew. She's lost sight of doing what's best for the survival of the one crew. Instead, been putting them last ahead of, we've just got to go in and win this war. And I liked that the people that were in the camp once they escaped the gorge did say, we're not following her anymore because, you know, like when she burned down the hydro farms, we could have survived. We can't anymore because of one crew, because of Blood Rainer, sorry. We're running into this battle. And even Octavia was still like, let's just keep going. And they're like, no, we're not following you anymore. What are you doing? Of course we're not going to keep running into this battle because you're just going to kill us all the way you're going. And I liked that Octavia finally saw that and admitted that. And it was like, yes. Because we've been waiting this whole season for Octavia finally. But you could see in her eyes, she knew it. When she was crying on the throne, when she was crying in the back room, when she went to slit her wrists. We know that she knows that this is wrong. She just never admitted it. And we finally got to that point, and to the point where she was willing to sacrifice her life to let Gaia and Indra escape, and Bellamy. I'm also kind of gutted that I know that, I'm pretty sure it's, or that I know at least, is that Octavia and Clark make it to season 7. I'm gutted that I know that, and I think Bellamy as well, because it does ruin moments like this where Octavia goes out, shoots as many people as she can, but then puts the gun down and gets on the knees, ready to sacrifice her life so they can escape. It ruins that moment a little bit, but it was emotional. It was still impactful and still strong because even though I had that knowledge in my head that they are in that season, there was still a part of me that went, is she going to die? Because if Octavia died in that moment, I would have been distraught. It'd have been a great death for her, considering this season and what she's done to one crew and her friends and her family, putting Bellamy in the pits, putting Kane in the pits, eating dead people, all these things that she's done. It would be a great death for her. Emotional, impactful, and a warrior death. And Blood Rainier is finally putting herself in the firing line and putting one crew first because she's offering her life up to save them. And that would have been brilliant. I'm glad that she didn't die though, and that Maddie and the people with the guns arrived in time to save her, because I do love Octavia. And now that Octavia at least seemingly is back, at least a little bit, I do want to see more of that and how that affects the next episode, now that Octavia isn't as one crew crazy as, you know, she has been recently. So I really enjoyed that little scene towards the end. It was emotional, it was cool. The TV continued, came out of nowhere. I do like a cliffhanger. You all know I love a big cliffhanger. And while that was one, it was still quite sudden. Like, we had this big fight, this survived it. We've got Octavia meant to give up her life. She survived because they appeared. And now they're driving forward to Eden. And so that makes me excited for the next episode because it's the finale. It's the last one. All bets are off the table in the finale. And as I say every episode with the 100, and I'll probably say it again when I get to the record the next episode, what I love about the 100 finales is the state of play at the end of the season. It usually changes completely. At the end of season 1, most of the people that we knew died, like the ground has died, and people that we knew from the Ark died. The Ark came down to Earth. Mountain Men appeared. At the end of season 2, Ali appeared and changed the landscape of the show moving forward. And then season, and the Mountain Men got killed. In season 3, we found out the world was going to end in the next season. And season 4, the world ended. And in season 5, we'll have to wait and see. I feel like Allegiance 3 is going to play a part of it. We'll talk about that next episode. We'll get to it. As for this episode, I think I talked about everything that I wanted to. Murphy was great, had some good moments. Nice to see him wielding getting his big gun out. Great fight scene between Echo and Clark. It was, again, really weird when Raven said, oh, it's been 6 years, this is how you say hi. It was weird to think they've not been together the whole season. But obviously, no one to think about it. Of course they haven't. But, yeah. McCreary, I'm ready for McCreary to die. But it's obviously clear now that there's no surrender. There's no moving forward except for one has to kill the other. How's it going to play out? let's see you next episode. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the episode, and subscribe to my channel for the rest of Season 5. And like I say, there's a Patreon link in the description box if you want to watch the full reaction and do the finale as well. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. As always, my name is Scott. I hope you guys are well, taking care of yourselves and staying safe. Please leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought. I'm excited. Let me know how excited you are for the finale. Thanks for watching. Take care. And I'll see you all very soon for the next episode. Bye, guys. Stay safe.